All right, hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex from Fitment Industries, and we are back with an unboxing from our good old friends at Accuair. Now, if you guys don't remember, we did a bunch of videos with Accuair when we were over at SEMA, and now we actually have them on the site, and they are hooking us up with all sorts of goodies because we wanted to see what do you actually get when you order an Accuair kit. Because if you guys didn't know, with air suspension, there's a lot of stuff that you get with a kit, and to be fair, it's a little bit confusing, and we try to help as much as we can, but at the end of the day, you still send us a million emails, which is fair because there's a lot of stuff to know about it. But we decided that we were gonna break it down, and Accuair was like, heck yeah, we will send you everything that you would need to get for a kit so that you can see what it's all about. Now, Accuair decided to send us something that goes a little bit above and beyond. They decided to send us their CVT system, which is, if you didn't know, if you haven't watched any of our previous videos, which we will hopefully have like up there somewhere, it talks about how the new system is a compressor, a valve, and a tank, and it's all built into one. So that is in this big long box that we'll be taking a look at. We'll be taking a first look at it. I'm gonna move that over here, and instead we are going to get into this. Now, because people don't trust me after the slap chop joke that I did on the same video, I'm not allowed to use knives anymore, it seems like. So let's go into it. So first off, we're gonna take a look at this. You obviously got your line. So if you guys didn't know, this is your 3/8 line. It's 3/8. You can get 1/4 inch line. 3/8 line, you'll almost notice though on some of the bigger vehicles is a little bit more like hydro than it is like the normal airing up and down. So if you're about it, very cool. This will air up a car a lot faster than 1/4 inch line, but at the same time, 1/4 inch line isn't very bad. This is something that I believe is for actually your CVT system in this box, so I'm gonna leave that be. And then we have a whole bunch of boxes. So I'm just gonna lay out the boxes first. So we are going to put that down, and we're gonna break it down right at the beginning. So I'm gonna open this one first. So something that's really neat is that all of it is labeled, which is pretty cool. So if you guys didn't know, there's a lot of parts that go into Accuair, like a lot of parts that go into airlift, any sort of air suspension kit. But when you break it down, you're pretty much breaking it down into this. You have your actual tank, but you also need your valves and your compressor. So since this has both the valves, compressor, and the tank built into one, you only need this. Then you're obviously gonna have your touchpad, which is gonna be how you're gonna control the entire air suspension system. You also have your manifold and all that sort of stuff that's built into this. So at the end of the day, once you install your sensors and install your line to your struts and then run the power through all of it, you're pretty much good to go, which is pretty easy. So I'm gonna open up this one first because this says Cerakote, which is a very interesting finish. If you guys didn't know, it's actually very popular on guns, but we don't talk about that because Facebook doesn't like it, boosting people don't like it. So this is the E level, and probably my favorite thing about it, honestly, is the fact that it's like buttons. Like it's raised buttons, which is very nice. I love the feel of like a sturdy remote, and it kind of feels just like that. It almost has like the old iPod vibes back when you had like the clicking back and forth and you had the circle, you know what I'm talking, I might be dating myself, but anyway, I love it. It's got like a nice like metallic finish, it's not plastic, and then of course you have your connector on the back, that's the bronze E level, not bad at all, and then obviously you have it in its own little individualized bag, so I'm gonna set that out right there. And then you have your actual wiring harness for it, and then I didn't lose it. You have your screws and your washers. So something that's really cool about Accuair, in case you guys didn't know, so Accuair is not the most affordable. We know this. They're a little bit more pricey actually, if anything, but something that's really cool is that they test every single component before it goes out. So you might be asking why, and no, it's not done like overseas, it's done in-house. Every single person tests their specific product. And the reason that they do this is twofold. Reason number one, it sounds really cool when you say that, right? It's like a great service plug. You say that all your stuff is tested, which by the end of the day, when we're telling you this, we're not telling you this to like hype you up or anything like that. We just want to be real. To be real, the real reason is because it helps actually reduce the amount of refunds and returns that they have to handle or questions that they have to field because they tested it all already. So imagine you testing everything so that you never had to take a return back. So it actually ends up winning for them, and it's really good for us as an intermediary because then we don't have to worry about returns or people asking a million questions because the stuff just works. Unlike you buying another kit that maybe is secondhand or used or something like that, and it has a broken pin, or maybe the connecting isn't as good as you want it to be, every single thing that you see in the kit is actually tested, which is pretty neat if that's what you're about. Now we have the 3/8 plumbing kit, which is not very exciting. Oh, okay. So you actually get it. Something that's really neat too is that they're all individually wrapped, and then they're already threaded, pretty much like good to go, which is really interesting because I guess I wouldn't have expected them to have the tape already installed on the threads ready to go. That's definitely not something I'm super used to, but it's also very neat to see it like individually wrapped. And then something else that's really cool is that it's like insulated. So I know it's like the little things, but to me, when you're spending a lot of money on anything in life, that a lot of times the difference between $3,000 and like $4,000 or $4,000 and $6,000 isn't gonna be like the big stuff. It's gonna be the little stuff that I think makes all the difference. So I think that's super cool. I'm gonna set that over there so I do not lose it. Finally, you have your exhaust mufflers. Right, exhaust mufflers. You can Google it. Very cool. Never mind, moving forward. Then we have, let's see what we got. Oh, we got the wiring. I opened it up upside down. That was my bad. Let's see what we got going on here. So all of your hardware in here, and then there's hardware within the hardware bag that's also individually wrapped, and then individually wrapped more. So there's like more and more and more individually wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. So that's actually pretty neat to see. And then you obviously have your harness, you have your power, which is super great. You have all the grounds running, so you're good to go there. I'm going to put that in so I don't lose it. And then you have an instruction manual virtually in case you don't like to have paper. 4-way electronic leveling system to be paired with your touchpad. So if you guys didn't know, this is what that looks like. And we will go through this adventure together because I don't even know what we're looking at. Instruction manual and your operation manual for your E-level system. Set that over here. Got yourself some nice foam. My dad, electrical engineer, would be very, very happy if he saw this because it's not cheap. And then you have your actual wrapped E-level system. And I think some of the guys took pictures of this stuff already and then put it back in there. So here's your E-level system. So that has to be connected on the back there for you. And then the whole thing wires together. And if you follow the instruction manual, it's actually pretty easy. Then you actually have more wires, more washers, more screws. Pair with that, and then I'm gonna take a look underneath here. And then you get a slew of other stuff. So I'm gonna try not to make it fall out. But then you have all of your wiring, you have all of your power, you have your connectors, you have all of these really colorful M&M rainbow colored stuff, which is very, very exciting. And then you have a whole slew of other hardware wrapped within hardware, wrapped within more plastic, wrapped within paper, wrapped within more stuff. So something that, again, like I bring it up as like a third or fourth time, is the difference between the two Accuair and Airlift components and different kits and things like that is just like how meticulous these guys really seem to be with what they're providing you in terms of everything being individually wrapped. 200 PSI your pressure sensor. So if you guys didn't know, everything is built into this 5-gallon tank, and as a result, you think you're gonna lose a ton of space. You actually only lose half a gallon of air capacity, which if you really think about it, is not that much. What the cool thing is that you lose that space, but you make it up in the amount of pressure that the system can build up. Most of your like standard conventional pressure systems, like your 444C on a 5-gallon tank and your normal kit is gonna be around 150 PSI. At this, at 200 PSI, you're actually airing it up quicker. Now, even though you are losing a percentage of your space, about half a gallon, you're really not noticing a difference because of how fast this is gonna fill back up. So if you guys wanna know more math about that, we actually talked about that in a previous video, which is pretty exciting. I'm assuming that these are going to be your height sensors, and I would be correct. So individually wrapped, yet again, it's got the Accuair embossed logo on that, which is very cool. That is everything that you get with the kit. Now we're gonna open up that big, long, sleek box, which sounds really awkward when I say it like that. Oh boy. Oh, that's very nice. So, oh, this is cool. So here you have like a thick cardstock worth of instructions for Accuair for the actual system, which is pretty neat. It talks about, this is a diagram for the tank itself. So these are the actual mounting at the bottom of the tank. This is the front side of the tank, the center line. So that's very cool. So then you can actually do your measurements when you go to nail down where you're gonna mount this in your trunk or wherever it is that you mount it so that you don't mess it up. So very, very cool. At the end of the day, these guys, I think really, ideally are trying to make this system as easy to install as possible without you running into issues. And I think that's why you see 3 instruction manuals, diagrams, more instructions. They have online help. They have all sorts of stuff in hopes that you don't make a mistake on anything going on in terms of installing your stuff. Now, I broke this. Again, I broke it more. So this was very nicely wrapped, and then I unniceified it. And here you have, oh, your wiring. All right. And here you are looking at your module. So very, very cool to see. Again, you have the embossed gloss black on the matte black, very nice touch. And in case you wanted more instructions on your Accuair kit, here's more hardware in case you needed that too. Some washers, some good stuff like that. Your Cvt System Diagnostics right here. So you can actually diagnose. So if you guys didn't know, when you're running into air suspension, there's always issues that you can run into. Whether you have lines that build up with condensation, or you have issues with lines cracking, or your tank isn't holding air, or something is going on with your power, it can be a pain it can just be a pain for you to really break it down and figure out what the actual issue is with your tank. Something that's cool about this is that this will actually show you with this what the error could be. So you could find if there is something wrong in terms of what's going on, whether your compressor head temperature is too high. So here is the CVT system. And it actually, oh gosh, it actually looks like a rocket launcher if you just hold it like this, which is super exciting. But it's not that, and I'm just gonna put my childhood tendencies away. And here you have it. This is a 5-gallon, and the first thing that you're gonna see is that it's a bronze finish, so they have multiple finishes from Accuair, which is very cool. You have all of your connecting points right here. You have a lot of good stuff that goes into your ins and outs, depending on if you have a 4-point, 2-point, or whatever they wanna call it for the definition, whether you want your car to just air front end to back end, or if you want to individually control how fast your car dips down when you get it onto the ground, depending on the preset, not presets, but depending on the pressure that you have in your bags. There's a lot of very interesting things that the system can do. It has a double oscillation chamber, so it allows the compressor to actually sit like hovered inside the tank to prevent noise. It's actually an extremely quiet system. We've done videos on it in the past. Another thing that's really cool is for those big VIP cars, the cars that have massive front ends and tiny rear ends, something like an Aston Martin and things like that, that when you air it out normally, your front end tanks super hard and then your back end comes down. So the CVT actually has a way for you to adjust that here so that you can adjust how fast it's gonna purge the lines for air and how fast it's gonna actually beef that back up so you can get to ride pressure that you need so you can move your car around. So instead of it doing one of these and coming down, it'll actually lower from front to back just exactly how you want. So something that's really nice is it's individually, it's wrapped, which is very cool. You guys might be saying for the price it better be, but at the same time you can never be too surprised. So you have your exhaust, your power, you have all sorts of good stuff happening here. One of the coolest things too is you can send in, if you just have the tank from Accuair, you can send it in and actually get your tank upgraded to a CVT tank, CVT. Otherwise, you can also do it with just your valves, just your compressor, things like that. Another cool thing that you can do is that it actually has a quick release point on the back. So what happens is you mount this to the trunk, and then instead of having it to be super, super difficult to get on and off, this actually snaps into place on these 3 supports. So something that's really cool about that you guys might be wondering is like, why? Well, one of the biggest things is to make this as easy to install but simplified in terms of installation, as long as you're following the instructions, as humanly possible. And then at the same time, you don't have to worry about mounting this up on something. It comes ready to mount. So you don't have to worry about pre-building your own mounting system or anything like that. And then there's other ways you can also mount it as well. You can also take these apart, but I recommend that you don't if you're just looking to install it. Overall, I give this kit a 10 out of 10. It's brown, it's very, very good to look at. It has everything you could possibly need, individually wrapped. In terms of delivering like the style and the image that I think Accuair is trying to give out to its customers, I would say it's doing like a really, really good job because it's doing exactly that. And on top of that, the instructions actually seem pretty, not difficult, but they don't seem as hard as what you would think. So you can actually learn everything about your air pressure limits. You can learn about everything about the system right here. and then it shows you how everything is going to get installed in terms of your controller to your ECU, all the way down to your actual tank, all of that sort of stuff, to your sensors. You have everything in between that you need to pretty much figure it out to install everything, and then you actually have your adapter harness right there on the right side. So it's not, I don't think it's as scary as you think. So we're really excited to get some more content out for you guys in Accuair, because this is something that you've asked for. So we decided to listen, because we listen. It's usually how it works. But if you have any questions, comments, or if you want us to dive into this more specifically, let us know in the comment section below. If you're looking at picking up Accuair, head up fitmentindustries.com. You can go to suspension. Accuair is right there. We made pre-made kits for your year, make, and model to make it easy, because we're all about the easy. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you later. Peace.